What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a banger of a video, a true hoot and a holler. In today's video, we're coming in with the first video that I'm recording in my new setup. So, if anything sounds different or maybe sounds off or wrong in this video, please let me know in the comments below. Before we dive into the video, let's take a real quick moment to talk about our friends at MyBookie. As a bettor, you demand perfection, and MyBookie delivers. NFL, college football, and a brand new cash-out system give you options to bet and win all season long. Join the MyBookie family for an entire season filled with daily odds boosts, same-game parlays, and super contests. This season, MyBookie has a no-string-attached cash bonus that lets you deposit and withdraw quick. Use promo code GOBLIN on a deposit of $50 or more, and you can receive up to $200 in cash instantly in your MyBookie account. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Big thank you to them. Don't forget to check out the merch at goblin420.com. And without further ado, let's dive right into the video. Now, before we get into the story part, I real quick just want to apologize for not uploading in like 2 weeks or streaming. You see, I just drove all the way from Chicago to LA and I had to get my apartment set up, and you know, it's been quite the mission. So I apologize for the time away, but we are back and better than ever, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to talk too much about that. That's for a separate video, but now let's dive into it. Now, in today's video, we're talking about a strip club outing that was one of my, if not my absolute favorite strip club outing that I've ever been on. Now, listen, all right? I don't go to the strip club too often, especially nowadays. I haven't been in quite a while as of late, but hey, maybe we'll spin back. However, when I was younger, specifically below 21, the strip club was the greatest thing on the planet. You see, in my area growing up, there was one strip club that lost their liquor license for serving minors, which meant that you only had to be 18 to get in there instead of 21. This was absolutely the greatest gift from God that any 18, 19, 20-year-old man could have been given, and we capitalized on it. Now, this took place back in 2019 during my very heavy coke use period of my life, and I had a couple buddies who were also very in it with me. My good friends that you guys know as Kevin and Sam. Now, these have been my friends. Both of these dudes have been my homies for a long time, and if you watch any of my videos, you've probably heard both of these names numerous times before. These are the homies, right? So when I was trying to go to the strip club, these are some of the first couple guys that I was going to hit up. So I hit up Kevin, I hit up Sam, I'm like, yo, boys, listen, I got a bag, we got to hit the strip, right? And this was, listen, none of us had any bills to pay, all right? We all still lived with our parents. None of us had any worries in the world. So if I made $500, that was going to result in the most lit evening of my life. At this period, I was making about $3,000 a month, but I had no expenses. So I was on top of the world, bro. I was just, oh my God, I felt like Kobe. So I sectioned out my little baggie of blow, and I had bought quite a bit. I remember I had probably close to like 9 or 10 grams at this point, but I brought out 2 grams for the evening. I was like, you know what? We'll start it light. I don't want to go too crazy, because Sam, I knew damn well wasn't going to be throwing for any, and Kevin was 50-50. You know, Kevin, maybe not. We'll figure it out. Sam, I knew damn well was not going to contribute a penny, so I had to ration a little bit. So I grabbed my couple grams, I hop in the whip, and I drive over and I pick up Kevin. After I pick up Kevin, we whip over and then we pick up Sam, and we were playing no games. We drove directly to the strip club. We didn't get out of the car and go chill upstairs. We didn't we never exited the vehicle. From the time of me getting in the car, I didn't get out until I was at the strip club with my cocaine ready to have a hoot. Now, another good thing I should say about this club is that the security was pretty much non-existent. You could show up with whatever the fuck you wanted. There's one time I brought a Puffco into this club. Like, they don't fucking care at all. So we get to this club, and, you know, I guess since, you know, I don't live in the area anymore, I can just say what club it is. Oh, fuck, there's a fly, dude. Wait, there's a gnat. Bro, there's hella fucking gnats out here in California. I'm not a fan. But anyways, this strip club that we frequented was called Blackjack's, and this club was just the GOAT, okay? Listen, as a grown man now, I would never go back, all right? Realistically, it's only the GOAT if you're in a very specific age range, I guess is the better word there. The moment you turn 21, this is not a viable strip club anymore, okay? The girls in there are like, if you're lucky, pretty decent. Most of the time, you can tell that they have some trauma and they show it in their movements, okay? Dude, this is a rough strip club, all right? This one, there's nothing pretty about it, all right? But they really don't give a fuck in there. So we pulled up, we hop out the whip, we pay our cover charge, and we waltz on in. And the nice thing about this place is that usually if you spend enough money, which isn't very much, it's like $100, they'll give you a waiver to give you like free entry so you don't have to pay the cover the next time. The problem is, me and my friends always just lose those things. We never hang on to them. So we pay the cover every time. But either way, we go in there, we pay our cover, we get in, and, we didn't really have a game plan. I had a little bag in my pocket, and we had pre-gamed, done some gummies in the parking lot and on the drive there, but, I wasn't really geeking super hard yet. I didn't really know what the vibes were. So we just sat down and we watched the stage. We waited to see if anyone approached us, and at first, it was kind of dead, At first, there was really nobody coming out that caught anyone's eye. There was, like, some chick dancing on the stage, but, I mean, listen, bro, the only people that go up to the stage and throw the singles are, like, boomers, all right? The guys who, like, they get turned on just by getting a whiff of pussy, all right? Just by being within 5 feet of some sweaty gooch, they're fucking in that hoe. They're spending money, the wallet's open. Me, I have more of a refined palate than that, all right? It's going to take a little more to get some money out of me and my boys, I'll tell you what. Now, eventually, a girl comes by, and she comes up to me first, and I oblige. She was looking pretty good. I was like, yeah, let's get a little dance going. So we go in back, we get the little private dance going. She's down. I'll tell you what, I didn't have to ask for nothing, bro. She was putting my hands on places, all right? Listen, dude, I was almost getting dominated in this little back room area here. It was very enjoyable, though, and also I was still feeling a little geeked up, but I wasn't really comfortable enough just busting out the bag yet. So I was like, okay, I'll just wait. Once we're done here, I'll go into the bathroom. She gives me a couple dances. We're just like having a conversation, dude. Normally, when I go to the strip club, I'm not there to chat, but I don't know. We were just like chatting it up, just like, oh, how's your day going? How long you been doing this? All that kind of shit. And it was very strange because, on one hand, it's like my penis wants to think for me. I'm like, I got some titties in my face, whatever, ass on my lap. But then my brain, I'm just sitting there like chatting it up like, oh, how's your day going? Like, oh, you been working here? Yeah, any good business today? Like just very, very different things between my brain and my body going on. I'll tell you what. But either way, we finish up this little private dance. She asked me if I want to go to the back room. Now, at first, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I got to see what the homies are doing. And then she hits me with a bombshell. She hits me with an absolute bombshell. She tells me that she could get her friend. She's like, oh, for a little more, I could get my friend in there, too. Yo, even a nanogram of cocaine would have gotten me to the level to say yes to this. And I was off far more than a nanogram, so you can fill in the fucking rest. I said yes to this. So I run my jolly happy ass over to the ATM, right? And by the time I got back out of that back room and went to the ATM, I looked over and both of my friends were gone. So I was like, all right, they're having a good time, whatever they're doing. I can do me here. So I go and I hit the ATM and I pull out my money, right? And the one chick who was giving me the dance before, she brings her other friend over, and now it's a real fucking party in here, I'll tell you what. So I get my money out, I hand him the bread, and we go over to this little private, like, VIP back room thing. This was different from the dance I had gotten before. The one before was just a private dance. That shit was like $40, right? This shit cost me, I'm pretty sure I paid like $500 for this or some shit. Listen, pro tip right here, if you have $500 and you're horny, just bang the line of a prostitute, okay? This is Blue Ball Supreme. But off the cocaine, I was cool with Blue Ball Supreme. I was like, whatever. And also, I wasn't really trying to raw dog a sweaty stripper towards the end of the night. That wasn't really my go to, I was not trying to do that, so I was cool with just the dance. So I bust out the money, I hand him the bread. We go in the back room. Now, we're chilling in there, and I don't know what the deal was. They were like, I was kind of expecting them to like both be dancing, I'm like, I got one titty in each hand from like a different chick, I was expecting that. Instead, the first like 10, 15 minutes, they just kind of like took turns, and I booked this back room for a fucking hour, bro. That was like the default time. It was a minute, right? So I'm sitting there and they're just like taking turns dancing. And then I think to myself, I'm like, well, what if I like brought the homies back here? So I asked them, I was like, hey, can I bring a friend back here? They're like, yeah, they're super cool about it. So I get up and I walk out of the back room. And I find Sam, once again, is back in the main area. Kevin was still nowhere to be found. I don't know where he ended up going. Well, actually, I do, but we'll talk about that later. But Sam was back in our original seat. So I go up to Sam. I'm like, yo, bro, come with me. I didn't even tell him shit. I'm like, just come on, come with me. So we go into the back room. And Sam sits down, and now we're having a real party. We're chatting, and these girls are pretty cool. I was chatting it up with the one chick before. Her friends seemed pretty similar. They asked us if we wanted any drinks. Now, I was a little intrigued. I'm like, I don't really drink fucking Red Bull, because that's literally the only thing they serve. They don't even have, like Coke or, like, soda. It's Red Bull and water. That's it. I'm like, holy fuck. They're like, no, we have a bar downstairs. Like, we can just fucking go downstairs. So I'm like, bet. Say way fucking less. Let me get a bevy, right? Let me get some liquor in this hoe. Now I'm feeling far more comfortable. We got the drinks coming out. I got my bag of blow still safely tucked away in my pocket. Now I'm feeling good, right? So one of them goes downstairs and grabs the drinks, and the other chick's like dancing on me and my homie. And I ask him, I'm like, hey, you guys mind if we do a couple bumps back here? And the chick's like, no, go for it. You can smoke back here too if you want. I'm like, bet. If I knew this way before now, I would have been in this bitch smoking. Like, I had never bumped into strippers that were letting me do all this. I was like, this is amazing, right? This is fantastic. So I bust out my bag, and I didn't even feel like doing any actual bumps or anything. I was just gumming it. And then I got a wonderful, wonderful idea. And, it was wonderful in my head. I asked the chick who was still in the room while the other shorty was gone getting drinks. I asked her, I was like, yo, is there any way I could, like, do a bump off your tits or something? She was not having it, bro. She was not down for that. She's like, no, I don't really do, like, that kind of stuff, but I don't care if you do, She did not want to come into contact with this. So I was like, okay, that's cool, whatever. I mean, I figured if you let me bust it out, maybe I could do it off the titty, but that's cool, it's not the end of the world. Realistically, 20% of that bump probably would have been like sweat and perfume, I mean, it's okay. I get it. So I take my gummies, and honestly, I think I took far too much, because almost immediately after passing the bag over to Sam for him to do the same thing, I could feel the numbness just overtaking my face, and it felt like warm water almost coming down the top of my head and going down to my neck. I could not feel shit. You start feeling like you're choking a little bit, because you're literally, the drip is just choking you, and you also can't feel your throat, so it really doesn't help. This all hit me very quickly, because you gotta remember, I was in a dimly lit room and was not able to see how much I was doing very well. So I got fucking geeked, dude. I got lit out of my mind. I went from just like, I'm kind of here to do blow to like, bro, I got a titty on my I got each titties in my hand. I might have even kissed him a couple times. Who the fuck knows, dude? We're in this bitch. The vibe changed entirely after these bumps. I was telling him, I was like, yo, both of y'all fucking shake your ass on Sam at the same time. Come do it to me now. I was orchestrating this, bro. I felt like I was the director of an opera, of some sort of naked horror symphony. It was absolutely amazing. I had the time of my life. So we finished up in that room, and the one chick, the one girl who I was talking to at first, as we're finishing up, she says to me, she's like, oh, I could make you nut. Just book another one. Listen, hey, I know your fucking games, and even if there was no game, when they were shaking ass, I caught a whiff of something I didn't like. All right, and I understand they've had a long, hard working day, but I caught a whiff of something that I didn't like. So I passed up on that offer. I said, hey, thank you. I had a great time, but no thank you. I really appreciate it. So I walk back out, right? Sam didn't throw a penny for this, but I didn't really expect him to either. You know, I invited him in. It's whatever. And they were cool about it. I tipped them both. They didn't charge me any extra for him coming in. They were cool. You know, I had a great time. We all had fun. However, we walked back out. Sam and I walk back out. Kevin is still gone, mind you. Kevin is still in Narnia. However, we bumped into a girl that we both knew very, very well, and I knew that Sam was definitely wanting to get a dance from. Before we even made eye contact, I already recognized her. You see, I went to high school with this chick. We're going to call her Megan for the sake of the video. Actually, I take that back. I didn't go to high school with her. She went to a different school in the same district, but we were in the same friend group. I'd smoked with this chick a bunch of times. I'd even served her a few times. I did not know that she was working at this club until this night, though. I knew she was dancing, but I didn't realize she was working at this club. So she comes up, she gives me a hug. She's like, Nick, Sam, you know, how you guys doing? We're chatting a little bit. Sam is fucking drooling, bro. I look over at Sam as we're talking. Sam does not say a word to her, bro. He is just eyeing her up and down like a feral dog, okay? Listen, Sam, he had talked about this girl many times before. I knew he liked her. I knew he was really, really into it. And I bet for him, this was like a borderline out-of-body experience seeing her this close to naked right now. So she comes up, she chats with us a little bit, and she asks if either one of us want to dance. She's like, yeah, you guys want to dance or anything? Sam, before I could even look over to him, he's like, yeah, like, let's go. However, I don't think Sam realized that was going to cost money. He was like, yeah, for sure. So he goes back and gets his private dance, and this is where things got fucked up, right? This is where our evening took a curveball, because when you get one of the private, like, VIP rooms like Sam and I had just done, you pay in advance. They make sure you have the money. But when you just go back and get, like, a, $40 dance, you pay after. Sam thought with his nuts, and he said yes immediately to a dance while having a negative balance in his bank account. And he showed me this balance. He made a big fucking point of this balance, all right? So he goes back there. He gets quite a few dances. This guy's gone for a minute. I spent the rest of my time at the club sitting up front waiting for Sam and Kevin to be done. Kevin finished up shortly after Sam went back for his dance with Megan. Kevin comes back up. I ask him where he's been. He's like, yeah, I just got a bunch of dances, had fun. Talked to the chick a little, had fun, So he was doing his own little thing. Sam is gone for an eternity, bro. This guy comes back like maybe 15 or 20 minutes later, which in strip club time, I guess is kind of long. But the way they do these private dances at this club is this. They have what's called a feature. So they do 2 dances and it's like $40 or $50, right? It's 2 songs, and that's how they gauge the dance. But the trick is none of the girls will tell you when the songs are over. They will just keep going. So you have to keep track in your head, because if you don't keep track and you don't have the money to pay, it becomes a really big problem. This has happened when I went to this club with Bobby before. The bouncers almost beat his ass. So, I just wish Sam had taken some consideration, because he comes back out. Turns out the guy owed like a fucking $150, all right? And listen, we knew the girl, but that doesn't mean that we got pussy for free, okay? She never fucked any of us, so we don't get any benefits here, okay? So I ended up having to bail Sam out of this situation. I went over to the ATM, I pulled out the money, and I paid for his dances. And, Megan, she was like, oh, like, you're such a good friend. Oh, my God, thank you, And I'm sitting there, and I tell Sam, I'm like, Sam, I know damn well you're never going to pay me back for this, so I'm not even going to ask, but just don't fucking do it again. Now, this night at the club, you see, after I bailed him out, we all up and left. We had our fun for the night. We had gotten nice and geeked up, so we drove back to Sam's and chilled there for the rest of the evening and got, much more geeked. By the time we left the club, I had simmered down a little bit. I had chilled out. Not a little bit, quite a bit, actually. I hadn't done any since I got out of that private room. So we hop back in my car, we go back to Sam's, have a great night. But this night was a defining moment, a life-changing moment in Sam's life. I think finally getting a lap dance from the girl that he's been talking about since we were like 15 completely changed his life, because shortly after this, Sam went through a sober phase where he stopped hanging out with us because he believed that we were the reason that he was doing drugs. Now, my 2 cents on this is maybe he just had some sort of spiritual awakening from getting some pussy, and also his girlfriend hated us both, so maybe his girlfriend just like instilled some shit in him. But let me tell you guys firsthand, this guy was doing drugs long before we came around. He was doing harder drugs. Listen, This guy, hey, this motherfucker was doing ketamine in like freshman year of high school. I hadn't even smoked weed in freshman year, okay? But that's beyond the point. The point is, Sam had a complete 180 in his life. This guy went bone sober for a period of time, would not hang out with us. We reconciled, rendezvoused, whatever it is, but man, oh man. Was it quite the evening? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to head over to MyBookie and use code GOBLIN today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.